Welcome back to Harmony Yoga. Today our practice is going to focus on patience, remaining open, allowing this opening to happen on its own without force. It reminds me of this book by Anne Merle Lindbergh called A Gift from the Sea. She wrote this book 55 years ago, and the truths she states are still truths today. Her son writes about her book, "Her words offer a chance to breathe and to live more slowly. She makes it seem possible to quiet down and rest in the present. The flow of the language she uses reminds us of the cadence of the sea or that of our breath. Above all," he says, "I think A Gift from the Sea offers its readers an unusual kind of freedom that comes from choosing to remain open, as my mother did, to life itself, whatever that life may bring, joys, sorrows, triumphs, failures, suffering, comfort, and certainly always change." So taking a seat, being comfortable right where you are, lifting your hips higher than your knees. So I'm sitting on a blanket and a block this morning to allow myself to lift from the low back and to open the heart. It just makes that posture so much more comfortable when your hips are raised. So sitting tall with the pelvis rooting down, but the heart lifted, the crown of the head lifting up, and then gently close your eyes, breathing in and out of your nose freely, without force. Your body will let you know when it's ready to take that deeper breath. And bringing your attention to the sound of your breath, allow that breath to sound a little more like the ocean. So breathing in, softening through the back of the throat. Try it with me, opening the mouth and inhaling, and exhaling. Can you hear the sound of your breath, how it sounds like the ocean? Try that again. Inhale and exhale. See if you can keep that breath going. This time, close the lips. Exhale. As you breathe, listening to the sound of the ocean in your breath, I want to read these words by Anne Merle Lindbergh. She writes about the beach. "The mind wakes, comes to life. It begins to drift, to play, to turn over in gentle, careless rolls like those lazy waves on the beach. One never knows what chance treasure these easy, unconscious rollers may toss up on the smooth white sand of the conscious mind. What perfectly rounded stone, what rare shell from the ocean floor. But it must not be sought for, or, heaven forbid, dug for. No dredging of the sea bottom here. That would defeat one's purpose. The sea does not reward those who are too anxious, too greedy, or too impatient. To dig for treasures shows not only impatience and greed, but lack of faith. Patience is what the sea teaches. Patience and faith. One should lie empty, open, choiceless as a beach, waiting for a gift from the sea." Today in our yoga practice, we will wait patiently for our hearts and our bodies to open as we wait for a gift from something bigger, the ocean, the universe, the divine. Bringing the hands together in that place of the present moment right here, where we're neither in the past or the future, but right here in the present moment. Bringing all of our scattered energy right here to the place of this present moment. And when you're ready, gently release your hands, open your eyes. We're going to come to a kneeling position on our mat here. So bring your block to the front of your mat, move your blanket for now. Unless you need the blanket to support your knees in this kneeling position, you're welcome to kneel on your blanket. Toes curled under, fingers spread wide on the mat. Inhale, drag the hands back, reaching the heart forward, lifting the hips. And then exhale, drop the head, reach the spine up toward the sky. Attempt to push your hands away from you. Gently working with that ocean breath. Exhaling. And one more time. Inhale. And exhale. Sitting your hips back onto your heels, reach the right arm like it's up onto a beach ball, and turn and look up under that right arm. And then roll that beach ball around a little bit, finding a gentle opening here. Taking a deep breath in and out. Remove the beach ball from the right hand and take the beach ball with the left hand now. Lifting, looking under the armpit and rolling the beach ball forward. Exploring here a little bit with the breath. Rolling that beach ball around. Let's do one more round of breath here. Inhaling and exhaling. Good job. Now, removing the blanket if you have that, coming up to a standing position here, hands to the hips, elbows to the sky, inhale and rise. So standing in this mountain pose, feet are parallel and hip width apart, bending the knees, move the thighs back and rotate the shoulders up and away, take the throat back, palms face forward. Simply close your eyes and feel as we wait for the breath. One more inhale and exhale. And then inhale, arms up to the sky. And exhale, arch over to the right. Inhale to the sky. And exhale over to the left. Let's do one more time each side. Gentle with the breath. Inhaling up. And exhaling over. Inhale up. And exhale over. Good. Coming back up to the top. And then this time we're going to exhale, sweeping the hands down. We'll do 3 big breaths like this. We inhale up, exhale down. Letting the body flow with the breath. And one more. You decide how far your knees bend. And then this time we're going to exhale, reaching the hands forward, bringing the hands to the thighs, gently letting your hands move down the legs, finding your block if you need to, or finding the floor. And then this time we're going to inhale, lift halfway up, and exhale down. So wherever your hands are is fine. Inhaling up and exhaling. So yesterday we talked about embracing what you can do. Don't worry about what you can't. So if it's not easy for you to come all the way down to the floor, trust me, over time, your body will naturally open, but we're not going to force it today. So we're working with the body, working with what we have, being patient with the breath here. And this time, using your block on the highest setting, take that block out to the right side of your right foot, and bend, straighten your legs, exploring here, side to side. Seeing if you find some tension that you can pause, just send the breath. We don't worry too much about it, just sending the breath there, the body will naturally open. And then bringing the block to the left, same thing, bending and straightening, moving the hips around. And coming back to center, we'll do that one more time. Inhale, lift, and exhale, lower. And this time, bring your hands to the hips, elbows to the sky. We're going to rise all the way up. This time, we're going to bring the hands to the heart, close the eyes, and just notice what's happening in the body. Waiting for the breath. Letting that breath flow all the way through the body. Good. Releasing the hands. Let's come to the front of your mat if you're not already there. Inhale, reach the arms up to the sky, and exhale, come down to your forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway up, and exhale, release down. This time we're going to step the right leg back to deep lunge. Come up onto the right fingertips and reach the left arm up to the sky. Scoop that outer left hip under and press through the left heel. Draw the shoulder blades together on the back, and then pause here, wait for the breath. Let the breath flow freely, so we're not going to force this, we're just listening to the breath, allowing that breath to help us open, feel lighter, more buoyant, more centered and present in our place here. When you're ready, release down, step back to downward facing dog. And explore here by bending one leg and then the other, moving your hips side to side. Bending both knees now. That's the shins forward, moving your thighs back. Elongating the arms, reaching the heart toward the floor, and then gently lift your hips up or keep your legs bent. Working with what you've got now in your posture. Press down through the mound of the index finger. So this knuckle right here, press down and feel the arms rotate toward one another. And then step the right foot forward. Deep lunge here on the other side. Come up onto the left fingertips. Reach the right arm up to the sky. Scoop the outer right hip under and press down through the right heel. Pause here with the breath. Release that hand, step forward, forward fold. Releasing the spine, the neck, and the head, whether your hands are on the block or on the floor. Bring your hands to your hips, elbows to the sky, inhale and rise. Let's go around to the second side. Inhale, lift all the way up. Exhale, come down to the forward fold, and then inhale, lift halfway up. Exhale down. Stepping the left leg back, dropping that back knee down. Inhale, lift the arms up toward the sky, and attempt to drag that back knee forward and the front heel back. Lifting the heart here, and pause and wait for the breath. Backing off the posture if you need to in order to find the breath. Bringing the hands together, crossing the left elbow over the right knee, turn and look over the right shoulder. Good, release your hands down. Step back to the top of a push-up position. Come onto your tippy toes, bend your elbows, keep them tucked in by your side. Lower down onto the belly. Drag the hands back, untuck the toes, press all 10 toes down. Lifting by dragging the hands back. Exhale, lower, push back to child's pose. Push up to downward facing dog. Step your downward facing dog a little bit shorter, bend the knees. Reach the right hand around to the left ankle. I'm being accosted by my shirt. Lifting the hips, turning and looking under the left armpit. Come back down to your child's pose. Feel the ocean breath. around to the other side. So taking that short down dog again, bending the knees, reach the left hand around to the right ankle. You can keep the knees bent, pushing into the right hand. Turn and look under the right armpit. Feel free to start to straighten the legs or keep them bent, whatever your body's asking for. Patiently wait for the breath here. Good. Coming back to the knees. This time we're going to step that left foot forward. Come upright. Inhale, reach the arms up to the sky. Dragging the right knee forward and the left heel back. Waiting for the breath. And then bring the hands together in front of the heart. Start to turn over. So the right elbow comes to the left knee. Hands come together. Separate the elbows. Turn and look over the left shoulder. One more deep breath in. And exhale, release. Straightening the back leg. Coming forward to forward fold. Hands to the hips, elbows to the sky. Inhale and rise. All right, so we survived a couple sun salutations here with this crazy shirt on. All right, feet are parallel, hip width apart. Inhale, reach your arms up to the sky. This time we're going to lean over to the right. Here's the trick. Shift your weight onto the left foot. Draw your right toes up toward your nose. And hike that right leg up into the hip socket. It's a little bit of a challenge here. Can you keep pushing down through the left in order to reach the right higher? So you're not bending the knee, you're just dragging, lifting that hip. Release, bring your hands to your hips. And maybe you'll notice if you just stand here and push your weight down into the left, hike your right hip up. That's the action we're going for. Sometimes we get locked up here and it's really hard to get that motion. So now we're going to shift to the other side. Shift to the right foot, pick up your left, and just notice what's happening to your hands, right? So now my left hand is higher than my right. That's what we're going to do here in this crescent posture. So reaching the arms up, then we're going to lean over to the left, shift over to the right foot, and pull those left toes up off the floor. Hike that hip up higher than the right. And that's okay. If it's a challenge and you need to touch down, no problem. Just rejoin where you can. One more deep breath in. Nice. Exhale. Now standing on the right foot, interlace your hands around your standing on your left foot, pick up your right knee. Let's try that again. Balancing, pick up the knee. Hug in, lifting the heart, lifting up through the crown of the head. Staying here, or take that knee out to the right. Let's go ahead and go on to the other side. Stepping down through the right foot, interlace your hands around the left knee. Move the hips back. Staying here, or opening that knee out to the side. Sometimes you're stronger on one side than the other. Some days are just different. Go ahead and come out of that posture. I can tell you right now what I'm struggling with is this padded carpet. So I should have probably done my balance poses on this harder surface that I've got a piece of plywood under my mat here. So I will work on getting a harder surface. If that's your struggle, if you're on a padded carpet, feel free to move your mat to a harder floor. I think you'll be better. That's why we have these sticky mats that are dense. So they don't impact your balance, but they give you that support. So contact me if I can help you purchase a mat that's a better fit for you. Just go ahead and leave me a message and I can help you with that. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is grab your block and we're going to take a wide stance on your mat. So you up for a challenge? Okay, we're going to do these challenge postures and still wait for the breath. We're still going to be patient in the body. So turning the right toes out to the right, Left toes are facing the long end of your mat, so your feet are perpendicular. And I like to try to broaden my stance here. Gives me a little more opening. It makes it a little bit easier. Moving the thighs back, scoop the tailbone, and now bend into that right knee. Place that block on the highest setting behind the right ankle. And the left hand can remain on the hip. It can reach up to the sky or over the ear. This is a side angle posture. I want you to feel the length all the way from your left toes all the way up to your left fingertips. Start to turn the torso up toward the sky. So in essence, you're taking your right lung and trying to move it up toward the sky. Feel free to close your eyes here, feel the earth beneath you, and then return to that ocean breath if you've lost your way there. Inhaling deeply, exhaling fully. Let's go one more here. Now we're going to straighten that front leg and bring the top arm up to the sky for triangle posture. Pushing down through the ball of the right foot will soften the knee so we're not hyperextending into that right knee. Opening the heart, again, that right lung trying to move up toward the sky. The top hand doesn't need to go behind you. It can stay on the hip if your shoulder is impacted. Otherwise, feel free to just reach the fingertips directly up toward the sky. Taking the throat back, taking the head back, opening the heart. Now, here comes the challenge. If you haven't done this before, bring the left hand to the left hip, bend into the right leg, hop the left foot in. You're going to take the block with you on the little toe side of your right foot, and then you're going to shift your weight onto your right foot and your right hand, lifting the left leg off the floor. Left arm up to the sky for an additional challenge. Lift and separate the toes on the left foot and kick that foot forward just a little bit. Slowly start to turn up toward the sky. Are you waiting with the breath? The additional challenge is to bend both knees, grab the top of your left foot, and open. Coming down to that wide-legged stance now. Coming into that wide-legged forward fold. Either elbows on the block, hands to the earth. Moving those inner thighs back. You can bend and straighten both legs at the same time, or one or the other. And then we're going to move around to the other side. So now take the left toes to the left end of your mat, bending into that left leg. Right hand to your right hip. Move the inner thighs back. Scoop the base of your tailbone down and through. Turn and look up over your right shoulder. Right arm can reach up or over the ear, or it can remain on your hip. Staying here with the breath. Long, slow, steady breath. Closing the eyes, taking the throat back, taking the head back. One more breath in. Good. Straightening the front leg, softening the knee by pushing down through the ball of the big toe. Rotating that left lung up toward the sky in triangle here. Good. And then bringing the right hand to the right hip. Hop the right foot in. Taking that, I'm going to try to back up on my mat here so I make sure I'm in the screen. Reaching that block out now in front of you. Shift your weight onto your left hand and your left foot. Kicking the right foot up. Half moon. Looking up toward the sky is the challenge. And then if you want to take it a step further, bend both legs, grab the right ankle, and open. Coming back to that wide-legged forward fold. Good, and then coming down to the earth, onto your back. Have your block handy.
press your elbows down, rotate the shoulders underneath you. If you don't have a block, let me know that in the comments below, and I can help direct you to what you're looking for with that as well. A book works, there's other things you can use, but a block is really versatile. So pressing the elbows down, rotating the shoulders back, moving your ponytail if you have one, so you can press the back of your head into the earth. And then lift your hips up into this bridge pose. Again, walking your shoulders underneath you, pressing your hands down now onto the mat, palms down. Scoop the tailbone toward your feet. Pausing here with the breath. Your eyes should be looking straight up to the sky, not over the head or over the knees, but straight up so your chin is perpendicular with the floor. And then release your hips down. Pause here, take a couple breaths. And then reestablish. So your feet are parallel and hip width apart. What the block can do is help you make sure your feet are perpendicular. So if your feet are hugging into the block, that's a great way to know you're not splaying out. Sometimes that happens, the knees and the feet splay out. So we want to keep hugging into the block. Press the elbows down. Lift the hips again, press the hands down. Now one variation would be to interlace your hands underneath you and press the knuckles down, the forearms down, the upper arms and the shoulder blades. Scooping the tailbone towards your feet. Keep your feet hugging in, but you don't want to be knock-kneed. You want your knees right above the ankles. Release the hips onto those interlaced hands as an increased shoulder stretch there. And then one more time, we'll lift up, interlace your hands the opposite way now, or just keep pressing the palms into the earth, either way. One more deep breath in. And exhale, release the hips. Release the hands. Bring the block to you. This time we're going to lift the hips and place the block right under the back of the pelvis. So if you find your pelvic bones here, just reach around and notice the block is right under the back. This pelvis is like a bowl. So the front has your hip bones here. They're not really hip bones. That's what we call them sometimes. And then the back of the pelvis rests on the block. Palms face up now, so you've got this external rotation of the arms, and then close the eyes. Return to the ease of the breath. Does your breath sound like the ocean? Practice that again with your lips open if you've kind of lost that sensation. Lips open. Or closed. Waiting on the breath. Feeling the rhythm of the breath move through the body. Picturing the waves of the ocean. Feel free to stay here as long as you like, or remove the block, taking your feet as wide apart as your sticky mat and letting your knees gently flow to the right and to the left. And then hugging the knees to the chest. This is like an upside down child's pose. Feel the nice release in the low back. So we don't need to over effort here. Taking the knees out to the right and open the left arm out to the left. Turning and looking over that left shoulder. Up to the center and knees over to the left, and outstretch your right arm here. Sorry for the goofy shirt today, opening out to the left, moving the things out of the way so your knees can come to the left. Coming back to that position in the center, and then outstretching your legs long, or if you like that version where you bring the soles of your feet together. In either case, you're going to press the elbows down, lift and open the chest, and then the arms are externally rotated when you do that. So the palms are down, or the palms are up, the knuckles are down. And either you're in this modified version of Shavasana with the soles of the feet together, or you can outstretch your legs. And listen to the cadence of the breath. Closing the eyes. Wakes, comes to life. It begins to drift, to play. To turn over in gentle, careless rolls, like those lazy waves on the beach. One never knows what chance treasure these easy, unconscious rollers may toss up on the smooth white sand of the conscious mind. What perfectly rounded stone, what rare shell from the ocean floor, but it must not be sought for or, heaven forbid, dug for. No dredging of the sea bottom here, that would defeat one's purpose. The sea does not reward those who are too anxious, too greedy, or too impatient. To dig for treasures shows not only impatience and greed, but lack of faith. Patience, patience, patience is what the sea teaches. Patience and faith. One should lie empty, open, choiceless as a beach, waiting for a gift from the sea. Remaining here as long as you like, or coming up to a seated position. As we end our class, perhaps a little more peaceful, a little more centered, a little more gathered. I appreciate you for being here with me today.